I know what you are thinking after clicking this video. With the Game of Thrones theme music and Katsushika Hokusai background. What in the Seven Kingdoms is this? Let me answer that immediately. I am not even sure myself. I did not even expect both of these mods to run. Because aside from the fact that Westeros has 7 kingdoms and the Holy Grail War has 7 servants, there is nothing in common between the two lores. Anyway, this is Vane and I am Toaster today. Stay around in this video because goodness, it's going to be wild. So we have here the classic dumbasses fighting for the Iron Throne. Robert the Loverboy, Ares the Hearts of Iron 4 player, and Tywin the manipulative sad boy. But we are not going to put ourselves in the melting pot called Robert's Rebellion. Instead we are going to chill right here, far in the north as a free folk. I love the wind ambient music. It really feels like you are freezing to death beyond the wall with your fingers frostbitten and you spot weird blue dudes approaching you. Anyways, during character creation, you can spot all the servant traits here. There are more than 250 servant traits in total, so you got to commend the modders. Anyway, our concern isn't that. It's these Magus traits which would give our character an advantage in the Holy Grail War. That's right folks, we are going to do a Holy Grail War in the middle of Robert's Rebellion. This is going to be wild. So with a little of this and a little of that, we got our character up and running. And we are now taking part in the struggle beyond the wall, so definitely the Realm of Thrones mod is running smoothly. We also run into the sort of my origin story as a chieftain through a bard asking me questions. That is pretty creative. So I have prior knowledge of the Holy Grail War mod, so I'll just go ahead and clean my library. Because free folk beyond the wall have these expansive libraries and they are all literate. Source, trust me bro. Anyways, this fires a series of events that will allow me to become an official magus. Basically the story is that upon cleaning your library, you discover latent magic powers and begin practicing magecraft. And when rumors about you being a mage spread, some old man heard it and paid you a visit. He tells you about the details of the Holy Grail War. Also, I get to pick a catalyst for summoning. I'll go ahead and take the scabbard because I know 100% that this will give us Artoria. After completing the event chain, you will be given access to the decision to start the Holy Grail War, and that's exactly what we will do. And so it begins. You will use the catalyst to summon a servant, and for my case that would be Artoria Pendragon, who is the most popular Fate Grand Order character. It's fully voiced too. You will also be feeling the disturbance in the force which is caused by the presence of several other masters and servants. We have here Roderick of Flint's Finger. With a red-skinned servant I never heard of, probably a corrupted orc from Warcraft. Roger of Old Barrow. They both have male servants, so I do not care about them. Oh dear, is that Inkiju? So this mod allows you to take servants by imprisoning their masters. So Rodru of Keystone, you better watch your back, because I am coming for the clay bussy. Holy moly, the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch has a servant, guys. That's it, White Walkers are now doomed. Lancelot the Fairy Knight is now here to eradicate those White Walkers and genocide the wildlings. Goodness, with that 33 martial and 55 prowess, this girl is built for throwing hands. It's a male servant, I don't care. Guys, we have Shu Ten Doji with an ugly bastard. You can also see that he is totally Shu Ten's type of guy. As such, it is our noble duty to save Brandon Umber from this horny demon. And finally we have myself, who is happily with my waifu. She hates me though. Anyway. This mod adds 2 new lifestyle trees. The Magecraft lifestyle and the Master lifestyle. The Magecraft lifestyle is oriented to Fate Grand Order fans who would prefer to experience being a magus. With this lifestyle tree they could improve their family's magic circuits or recruit more magus in their court. Meanwhile the Master tree is a bit difficult to click. But it focuses on boosting the abilities of your servants and your own ability as a master. So let's just get that servant focus lifestyle since I love servants. Thank you Type Moon for creating this masterpiece. Anyway, even if I have no chance at all to romance Artoria since she absolutely despises me, I will just force Artoria to marry me since we are playing Crusader Kings 3 and whatever personal emotions your courtiers have, simply does not matter. I hope you will enjoy your married life Artoria, because I absolutely will. Artoria serves as a knight with a free kick 41 prowess, as such I would like to test her out right away. Unfortunately, I do not have enough piety to declare a struggle clash war, so I will just wait a bit. So I just directed my attention to Brandon Umber, whose marriage is currently in danger. I need to save him right away, so I'll challenge him to a servant duel. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see here, we have a fully functioning servant combat system, and since I picked a superior mage trait in character creation, my servant Artoria is currently more powerful than any existing servant alive. So I'll just spam attack until this horny demon passes out. There you go, Brandon Umber and Shu Ten are now our prisoners. And now I will save him from the influence of this horny demon, because I am totally concerned of Brandon Umber's marriage and not because I am down bad for Shu Ten Doji.
Assassin, Shu Ten Doji. うちを召喚してくれておおきにありがとう。好きにやるけどかまへんね。
Now I could technically steal Brandon Umber's magic circuits, which would leave him infirm, but he seems to be a pretty nice guy and my goal was to save his marriage. So I'll just release him back to the wild. Now Shu Ten is my servant, but she still stays in Brand Umber's court. Maybe I should have killed Brandon Umber. But anyway, I could still use her, so I'll grab her and go pick a fight with Inkiji's master. Once again, I have superior magic circuit traits, so I just demolished Inkiju and to the prison they go. Don't mind if I take this clay with me, thank you. Also, he seems Andros seems to be a pretty bad guy, so I guess you deserve to become an infirm. May you enjoy the rest of your bedridden life. And guess what? After I unpaused, the game crashed. Beautiful. And then guess what? Since I was playing Iron Man and autosave has not triggered yet in my playthrough so far, I had to restart from the very beginning. No Inkiju, no Shu Ten Doji. New masters. New servants. Servants are mostly male. This is a shitty playthrough. And as if that the paradox deities have heard my plea, my game crashed once again. This time I figured that the mods were not compatible in terms of saving. Since I crashed exactly before the autosave triggered. And so did I stop there? No. The mods may not be compatible, but there is one sane solution to my current problem. I just have to play one single playthrough without saving at all. And so I turned off autosave, created a new character, and started to play without Iron Man on. So I started from the beginning for the third freaking time, and encountered a new set of servants. This time there were a lot of female servants, so I was happy. And then after I unpaused, it crashed again. So it was not the autosave feature. It might actually be the monthly triggered variables that causes the crash. I was sad. I was depressed. The mods lied to me. They were actually not compatible. But then I realized, I actually have a week before the month turns. So I guess I can squeeze in a gameplay with that. So here's what I tried to do. I played as the Mad King. Then proceeded to clean my library, because that is totally what a Mad King would do in his pastime. Then after starting the Holy Grail War, I made Aira summon Nero, because I think they would totally vibe with each other, considering they are both tyrants and have a hobby of burning people.
Nero Claudius. 呼び声に応じ推算した。よくぞ世を選んだ。
違いのわかる魔術師よな。
That is the voice of a psychopath. Anyways, with Ares and Nero set in place, I plan to switch to one of these masters and then challenge the Mad King to a servant duel. And then if I do defeat him, I will then have successfully ended the Mad King's reign through the power of anime. And so I found a freaking Nero in a swimsuit whose master was Harry's grandson. And so I quickly switched over. Then proceeded to use console commands to ensure my victory over the Mad King. And proceeded to challenge the Mad King to a servant battle. The battle shall go down in history as the Battle of Two Neros, which was the climax of Robert's rebellion. Legends say all the Kingsguard and even the dragons only watched in the sidelines. As the two Neros fought to death with their noble phantasms which devastated everything around their battlefield. If you are wondering why am I just showing images and narrating instead of showing gameplay, that's because my game crashed once again. Anyway, I finally got it right and had John Cafferan with Mordred in a swimsuit. Mordred killed all the Kingsguard with a freaking surfboard before finally going face to face with King Ares and Nero in the Red Keep.
サンタナが吹いてる。さあ、今日も特別な一日になりそうだぞ、マスター。
Their duel shook the very foundations of the Red Keep. It was a fierce and close fight with the Mad King constantly screaming in the background.
まだまだ夏だー。俺が望むならいつまでもな。
But ultimately Mordred triumphed over the tyranny of Nero and Ares Targaryen. John then proceeded to enslave Nero.
サーバント・セイバー、ネロ・クラウディウス。
And then tortured the Mad King by extracting his magic circuits.
よくぞよう選んだ。
Before executing him in public and putting his head in a pike on the walls of King's Landing. And then finally, I fiddled around the game and waited for my game to crash. The Mad King was no more, but Robert's rebellion still go on. Though with chaos caused by John and Mordred, Robert's chances of victory skyrocketed. Mordred Pendragon was then known in all of the 7 kingdoms, as the Kingslayer.